Fantastic. We'll go ahead and get started now. Amazon has a fairly large Android-based app store. We've got 700,000 apps in the App Store, and that affords us the opportunity to take a look at the things that people are putting in. And sometimes the stuff that people put in is absolutely hilarious. I mean, the app listing page, we call it a product page or a detail page, sometimes is just absolutely dreadful. I think we probably should have said suboptimal here, but you get the idea. And I'd like to show you just a few examples of ones that are absolutely abhorrent and some of the worst practices, and then share some of the things that we've seen working. Who am I? I'm Mike Hines, and I'm a developer evangelist for Amazon. I've done the startup thing, I've done the big company thing. My favorite thing is coming around to places like this and talking to rooms full of developers about things that we've found are working well at Amazon and not working well at Amazon. And to start with, I'd love to cover some of the things that really aren't working well when it comes to building your app detail page. The first thing is, if you've built something, I mean, building a great game is kind of hard, right? And so if you've built a good game or maybe a companion app, it may be easier to get people to download it if you look like something that is really popular. We had a guy build a guide for Minecraft. Had a tough time selling it until he basically copied the icon, changed a few of the large pixels, and had Minecraft. Really? Okay, no, we're going to pull your app down. It's not going to end well. So if you can't look like someone else, how about picking someone who looks good? Okay, guys, Emma Roberts may like Match 3 games, but it doesn't mean she likes your Match 3 game. You can't put a picture of her on your app product page and say it's an endorsement by this famous star. That's going to get us in legal trouble, and we're going to pull down your app so fast it will surprise you. So you don't do that either. So if you can't look like someone else or look like someone famous, you're going to have to rely on the content of your own app product page. And for the most part, a lot of us, well, a lot of our customers, look at your ratings and how many 4 and 5 stars reviews you have. Well, it can take a while to build those. So instead of working hard and getting your friends and fans to give you good reviews, why don't you just short circuit the process and, pay people for good reviews, right? Okay. At Amazon, we know when a review has come from someone who's actually downloaded the app or from someone who hasn't. And if none of your reviews are coming from people who've actually purchased your game, okay, that's a red flag, and it's not going to end well. So if you can't pay people for reviews, well, 1, you save a lot of money. 2, you can use that money to write automation to produce reviews for you. I mean, automation is great in this sense. Okay, I'm not kidding. We don't have very many games or very many products at all at Amazon that will get 250 legitimate 5-star reviews in 0.8 of a second from one IP address. Seriously, guys, we know this stuff. And if you do this stuff, you know what's going to happen? We're going to go ahead, we're going to pull all of your apps down, we're going to yank your developer license, and if you've been infringing on somebody else's IP, hello Minecraft, we're not going to send you a check for your final payment. So don't do this. It never ends well. All right. But the problem still remains. You've got to somehow solve that discovery problem. I mean, maybe you've paid a lot of money to an ASO place to help get your search rankings up, and you're no longer on the 15th page of search results. But over half of your downloads are still going to come organically from people who land on your product page and then decide whether or not to convert to customers or not. Now, discovery is an issue because, I mean, now that it's so easy to build games, you guys know this, we've got 12-year-olds submitting apps to the App Store. We just heard a speaker tell us that there are way more games supplied than customers who want to play them. So what I want you guys to do is think about what really attaches your game to your customers? What is it that they really like about playing your game? Is it a familiar gameplay mechanic? Is it a genre that people really enjoy, tower defense games? Is it an artistic treatment, like a film noir treatment? Whatever it is, there is something that endears your game to its customers. Pay attention to what this is, because that's going to be a driving factor in almost all of your really successful ASO and all of your successful marketing, for example. The one question I want you to ask on every single thing you do is it worth it? Now, what is worth it, really? Especially if you have like a free game or a freemium game. Worth it, well, okay, really, all it takes is time to download and play it. It doesn't really cost anything, right? Well, it's an opportunity cost, right? Because anytime you go to a store and download and play somebody's game, you're not downloading and playing somebody else's game. So it really kind of doesn't matter. It's an opportunity cost for your customer. What matters here is the worth part of that. Are you actually delivering the value that they want to see? What is unique about your game? And are you highlighting that in all of the advertising you do? And are you promoting that on your product page? And that's exactly where I want to go, is how you showcase that value on the product page in your app listing. All right, the first thing that's super important in an app listing is recognizing that this is marketing. It's not just a clinical list of facts about your app, it's marketing. You guys know this, right? I mean, this should be news to nobody in this room at day 2 on a conference like this. So remember, you're also putting your marketing hat on for this. And when your marketing hat is on, how does that icon look? How does the name sound? I mean, is it a good name or not? A rose by any other name is still a rose, but how many of you would really like to get a Flizzbot for Valentine's Day instead of a rose, right? Well, ew, okay, one. Okay, thank you, Sally. Other than that, I mean, the name has got to be evocative. It's got to be memorable. It's got to be kind of descriptive, if not. And I've got a great example I'm going to show you later of how I really screwed that up in one of my own games. Next, does it look really good or does it look GarageBand? And I'm talking specifically about the icon. If you can improve the look of your icon, your game is actually going to convert between 8 and 17% better than it does with a bad icon. Now, I want to play a game with you guys. Are you ready? Okay, this is going to be fun. This is multiple choice and it's audience participation. I'm going to show you 8 app icons. Your job in the audience is to pick which ones are probably good professional studios and which ones are kind of, well, GarageBand hobby studios. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. Take a look at these. All right, quick. Top row. Which one is GarageBand? The one on the left? Second to left, any hands? Third to left, any hands? All right, last one, any hands? All right, bottom row, the one on the left, hands. Second from the left, third from the left, last one. All right, thank you very much for playing along, I appreciate that. The answers are, well, you know what? The answers don't matter. The answers don't matter because your customers are going to do exactly the same thing you just did. They'll take a couple tenths of a second, maybe up to a second, they'll look at the icon, and in that fraction of a second, they're going to decide whether your app is GarageBand or Quality Studio. So it really doesn't matter that, say, this guy right here, that's actually a Fortune 500 financial services company. I know. You don't have to be poor to do this badly. You could be really, really wealthy and do a really lousy job on this. Yeah, you guys are right. This is actually mine. Okay, I'm a better developer than I am an artist, and I'm not that great a developer. So that's my excuse for that one. But I'll show you something else, guys. That one's also mine. Because what I did was recognize that I didn't want to look like a GarageBand anymore. So I took a little bit of money, and I really do mean not that much money, and I got a designer to help build an icon for my app. All right, I actually did a lot better when I actually stopped looking quite so GarageBand. And And that's what I want to show you is kind of the results of what I've done with my own app in that sense. So the app that I wrote that for is an Alexa voice services skill. You talk to this little thing that's on your counter and you say, Alexa, tell me a quote. And I had one app, and it was the same code, and it ran from two different quotes databases. One quote database was from America's founding fathers. The other quote was just from famous politicians all over the world. The names, not that great for the first one. Famous quotes, really? Famous what quotes? Famous insurance quotes? Famous auto quotes? No, famous quotes. Okay, the other name was actually a little bit better, Founding Fathers quotes. And you'll see the effect of this when I do my first Facebook ad. I did my first Facebook ad, and again, the code base is the same. The databases are a little bit different, but the one with a better name got a lot better traction in the Facebook campaign than the one with a kind of lousy, not very specific name. I did a Twitter campaign. Okay, the Twitter campaign wasn't nearly as successful, but I got a little bump. But in both cases, I started with less than 100 daily users, and after the campaign's finished, I ended up with less than 100 daily users. So I needed to do something else. So I took one of my apps, Founding Fathers Quotes, and I gave it the new icon. Just giving it the new icon only, that's the only thing I did, was change the icon, and boom, over a 400% increase in the amount of daily users I was getting for my little app. And when it finally came back down from that, I still had a significantly larger number of daily users than I did before I changed the icon. Remember, my code hasn't changed. I haven't changed a line of code in any of this. And the code base is the same for this one as it is for that one. And honestly, the databases share a lot of the same quotes too. So the product's not really different. All right, but what happens when I take this and I do a Facebook campaign? Well, I did a Facebook campaign on that, and it went really well, and it actually continues to go well. Last time I checked, I had over 800 average daily average users, all with the same code base that I had when I was getting less than 100. And the only thing I did was follow my own advice in the last couple slides. Okay, I like how this is going. This works. So when I start writing some other apps that need other things like videos or screenshots, this is exactly what I'm going to do. A good screenshot, an optimized screenshot, can result in a 35% increase in conversion on your product page. Okay, what is an optimized screenshot as opposed to a screenshot? All right, screenshots that are suboptimal, they show menus, they show login screens, they show stuff that isn't gameplay. So don't do that. Really good optimized screenshots will actually be annotated as well. I mean, they'll put text here that's not in the game to kind of help you understand what's going on in the screenshot that you're being shown. And that really helps improve conversion. Again, it also highlights what's particularly wonderful about your game. Remember, find out what about your game really attracts your audience. Well, this is a great place to showcase that. A lot of people really love the art in the card games. So for this video card game, well, they're going to go ahead and showcase some of the things that make it lovable and well, desirable. Same thing goes when you actually get to the videos. Just adding a video, any video, can increase your conversion by 19 to 35%. And that's a big deal. Again, we're not showing splash screens, we're not showing login screens, but just a video. One of the things I want to talk to you guys about is trailers. How many people are investing a significant amount of their budget on trailers? Okay, I'm really glad to see no hands show up. But if you do have a trailer, please show something other than the trailer. I was watching someone look at a trailer, and it was beautiful, it was cinematic, it was, the sound was amazing, and right before they rolled credits on the trailer, the guys were like, okay, where's the game? What am I going to play? If I download this, what do I get? You gotta show some of the action. You gotta show that thing that makes your top-down dungeon crawler, different than every other top-down dungeon crawler I'm going to buy. So here's an example of just a game video that actually works fairly well. You get what this game is, and you get what you're doing in this game. Pretty simple and straightforward, right? So, notice he's not shooting the device on his coffee table. If you guys don't know, you can actually use Android Debug Bridge to go ahead and attach and record a video directly from your device. And then you can download that, transfer it through ADB back to your computer, and you don't have to worry about trying to film an actual device. So go ahead and look up the documentation on your Android Debug Bridge on how to do that. It really works. So if you take your existing video from which you got a lift, and you optimize that, you can get another 22% lift on conversion. Okay, what does optimizing a video look like? This, guys, is an optimized video. Okay, it's a dungeon crawler kind of game. It's this wonderful third-person 3D dungeon crawler, but they're going to show you what makes their game unique and different. So, again, some good music. They've got some good annotations here. Wait for it, this is super. That's what makes this different than all of its competitors. You can draw your spells on the tablet surface as opposed to have to pick it from your utility belt or your inventory and then cast it. This is an optimized video that highlights what they're doing differently, what makes their game unique and fun, and it's a really enjoyable trailer to watch to boot. So that's what I mean when I say optimize your video and get that additional 22%. So the last thing I want you guys to optimize is a product description, especially if it's a premium game. Doing this can result in 11% on the freemium side, 23% on the premium side, increase in conversions. It's not a place to stick every single keyword you think is going to be searched on an engine. That actually doesn't work as well as a lot of people think it does. It's a place to be really creative and descriptive about what you've built. Think of it as your app's dating profile. After reading your product description, would you take your app out for a date, for a download and a trial play? So think about how you do those things. So the most important things I want you guys to do. Jerks will try to game the system, and they'll create really lousy product pages. Don't be a jerk. Okay, get that. Know your customers, know what makes your game really attractive to those customers, and then take the ability in your product page and your detail page to highlight that. Then go ahead and optimize these components on your product page or on your detail page. They do result in big product conversion improvements. So if you just do one thing when you guys get home from the conference tonight, spend a few minutes, dress up your product detail pages, optimize some of these things, and start seeing some of the benefits that I saw when I did this on my own app. Guys, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.